You have anything to ask on income tax? 1 minute. Yes, please.
Excuse me. May I request all the members please be seated?
Please tell me.
Please be seated. For 2 minutes can interact with
If you can give the mic to him, that will be very wonderful. 2 minutes we are taking time because of the others to join, you know. Hey, you take the mic. Let the others also listen. Here it is, the mic. Let the others also listen.
Sir, this is question on 145A. Post implementation of GST, the stocks.
Sir, you have seen the institute guidelines, and it is nothing new in 145A, which was there earlier also, no effect. But I know there is effect.
Sir, the opening stock value with excess duty.
I am saying that if you look up the old guidelines of the institute, 145A is not a new flexion. It is already there. An institute has given one guideline where they say there is no effect on that. I don't agree with that. There is an effect because of opening stock and cannot be same. But nobody understands how to do it. Otherwise the profit will go up at times. It has to be inclusive of all taxes. B comes into picture, na? When you provide for all that.
Sir, when on 1/4/2017 stock, the finished goods are valued with excess duty. On 31/3/2018, GST applicable only at the time of dispatches. It is no more a manufacturing duty. So there's a method of account. The valuation principle is got changed. We are not consistently. The opening stock is valued with excess duty.
He is trying to say that in the case of excise, the liability was there at the time of manufacture, but it was postponed at the time of removal. That is what you are going to say about excise duty. But in the case of GST, he says, unless there is a movement or provision of service or movement of goods, there is no liability. So why should we provide the taxes in between for GST? But the problem is, what about the input credit? You have taken the input credit also, no?
Correct.
So that you have already utilized. So therefore there is a problem.
Yes,
because of the input credit. Otherwise there is absolutely no problem. Input credit you have taken, then to the extent of input credit you should show that. Because that there is a stock lying with you. There might be an input credit which you have already utilized.
Correct.
Which you have already utilized. There is the difficulty. You have utilized the input credit for movement of goods earlier, and still you have a stock left with it.
Correct.
So therefore they would not, because of the ICDS, they will have to include it also.
Okay.
There is going to be a difficult proposition for that. We are already taken up this matter. We were not interested in ICDS first. We were telling it, they promised us they will remove it, but somebody, I can't name him, was stuck in between. He said, nothing doing, we have done so much of hard work, we should come out with that. You wait and watch, they will be abolished. ICDS will not be there. You wait and watch.
ICDS is not disclosed in the report.
Thank you.
What is the
What is it?
consequences if implications of ICDS not disclosed in the tax report?
They said you have wrongly computed your income. Therefore, the penalty is for section 270 capital A, under reporting of income. Will attract the penalty there? Yeah. If you are not following the ICDS and not computing your income correctly, obviously it is under reporting of income. What is ICDS? Prepone your income, postpone your expense and provisions. That is ICDS. That is all. Prepone all incomes, postpone expenses and provisions which are there. Unless they actually happen. That is all ICDS is. But that is bad, you know, but whatever I'm now coming to, sir. Sir, I am taking to Benami law. Let me tell you, this law was already there, right from 1988. The name of the law was different. At that time it was Benami Transaction Prohibition Act 1988, applicable from May 1988. There were only 9 sections in this law at that particular point of time. But see, the intention of the government. 28 years, 28 years, no rules were framed, no authority were constituted for implementation of that law. Intention of the government is not our intention. Government came out with a law and then no authority constituted, no rules were framed. 28 years. Like 2011, earlier government, UPA government said, let us abolish this law and bring new law on that. The parliament said, how can you do that? What about the properties acquired? During that time, this government wanted to bring this law. They said, but we will not bring the new law, we will take it from old law and bring amendment in that. It was also referred to select committee. The report came, but see the intention of the government. See the intention of the government. Before demonetization, this law was, an amendment act was passed and made implemented from 1st of November 2016, before demonetization. So that everybody should be put to problems. That's why, because the people may not deposit in somebody else's account before demonetization, law has been passed. 63 new sections have been inserted. Rules framed, 10 rules, and made effective from 1st of November 2016. The law is passed. Remember those demonetization day. 8th of November, when demonetization took place, next morning, our offices were full of our clients. Somebody said, I have 10 lakh. Somebody said, I have 20 lakh, 50 lakh, 1 crore. One client of mine said, I have 100 crores. I knew the client, but I said, what is the point? He said, I sell medicine to reduce fat. हम कहते हैं मोटापा दूर करना, to reduce it. He said, what is the sale price? 550 rupees. What was the cost? 25 rupees. What was the difference? All bogus bills, you can understand. 25 rupees. So I said, how many people could reduce their weight? Said, nobody. But I could increase my money. He could increase his money. 100 crores. And the others also, 1 crore, 2 crore. Then I said to them, gentlemen, others also, I was asking for my fee and you were saying I don't have money. Now from where the money has come? Tell me from where the money has come. We serve our clients, but they don't share anything with us. They don't share anything with us, and we serve our clients. I don't know why we serve our clients when they don't share with us. When a 143 notice comes, he hands over the notice to us, he goes to sleep. And we are afraid, what will happen now? What will happen about this thing? We ask papers from him, he'll give few papers, second time few paper, thereafter we'll say, please manage. But please get it done. He doesn't give us the papers. He will tell you only that thing which is required to be told. Otherwise, he doesn't tell you anything. But I don't know, what are we meant for? Are we meant for their bad deeds or evil deeds? We should not. But the difficulty is fierce competition amongst ourselves. You know, you go to a railway station, the coolie, you ask him to take this luggage, he says 100 rupees or whatever is the amount. He will say, no, it is very much. No, it is not. You go to the another coolie. He said, no, please go to him. He can decrease it, I cannot do it. Please you go to him. I will not do it. I had gone to Meenakshi temple, Kamakhya temple in Guwahati, where you have to have darshan. Pandas are there. Pandas are there to take you to inside. When I delivered my lecture, I was coming back to the airport. He said, I'll take you to their temple. He was looking for his panda for a darshan. He was not available. He went to the another panda. He said, no, please, ask that panda or give him a phone. Call him. If he says, then I'll take you inside. Otherwise, I will never do it. But our position is less than Pandas also, the Kulir also. If somebody approaches me for 15 CB, the money which has to go abroad, I tell him, please bring the tax residency certificate, please bring the agreement, please bring these papers. He says, you are troubling a lot. Hey, I am not doing. He goes to another man, he puts a stamp on that, 1,000 rupees, please. So what will happen, sir? Who is at fault? We are at fault. We are at fault. Partners in nation building. Somebody said there is a penalty imposed on Sir 271J, 10,000 rupees. Sir, crores of rupees are going abroad on our signature. Once we sign 15 CB, nobody has courage to stop that payment. Even the banks cannot do it, it will go. We can, after becoming a chartered accountant, we can sign a balance sheet of 10,000 crore. Nobody will put a eviction. So much power in our pen. So much power in hand. And if we misuse it, so we are responsible for that and nobody else is responsible. So be careful. These clients are not going to favor us. We are favoring the client. They are not going to favor us. We are favoring the client. And we should not come to the pressures which they are giving to us. We will earn less, but we will not. We have really worked hard to become chartered accountant. Everyone knows it is not that easy to become chartered accountant, I'm telling you. It's not that easy. Everyone has it. We have a feeling of pride. Even our finance minister one day said on our function that also wanted to become a chartered accountant. But it is a difficult course. I did a course where it is difficult to fail. And you are the case where it is difficult to pass, you know. So that's why he chose the course where it is difficult to fail. He did his LLB, where it is difficult to fail. So if you had that much of feeling people are having about you, even the morning the High Court judge was also saying that it is so difficult to do a chartered accountancy course. And if after becoming a chartered accountant, if we are indulging in such practice, there are not many, only few. Only few. But the difficulty is, because of those few, we are being victimized unnecessarily. Modi ji said something on 1st of July, I am not denying that fact. But the finance minister even not used even one word against us. And he still today says, this is the best profession and we will see to it nothing happens to that profession. He said to me that the other day also. So my point is, some briefing might have been done wrongly, and that's why Modi ji said that thing, but they cannot do anything unless we help them to win. So please be positive in mind and do not indulge on those practices. Gone are the days, because when you read the Benami law, you will say better it is to leave the practice than to think of Benami nonsense in anything. I am coming to now. Read it. So, sir, Section 1. First, the name of the act has been changed now. Earlier with the Benami Property Prohibition Act 1988. Now the name of the act is Prohibition of Benami Property Transaction Act 1988. Prohibition brought before. And in between Benami transaction, there is a Benami property word added. So name of the act is Prohibition of Benami Property Transaction Act 1988, applicable to whole of India, subsection 2, except Jammu and Kashmir. You know why it is not applicable to J&K? Because of special thing, you have to get it cleared from the local state government. And applicable with amendments with effect from 1st of November 2016. Now coming to section 3 subsection 1. 2. What is section 2 of every act? Definitions. So I'll come back to the definition. Section 3.1 says, one line. No person shall enter into any Benami transaction. Full stop. This is 3.1. No person shall enter into any Benami transaction. So I have to give you the meaning of person. I have to give you the meaning of Benami transactions. Let us come to section 2 clause 26 saying, person includes. There is a definition of person in income tax also, section 2, clause 31, everyone knows. Person includes an individual, HUA firm, company, OP, BOI, local authority, any other artificial juridical person. 7 definition given in section 231. Now a local authority cannot do Benami transaction. So therefore 6 taken. Section 2 clause 1 says person includes an AOP, BOI, whether incorporated or not, any other artificial but juridical person. So only one gone, local authority, same definition which is there in Income Tax Act. Nobody will possess Benami transaction. But first, Benami property definition. Section 2 clause 8 gives you the definition of Benami property. Property. It says Benami property means any property which is subject matter of Benami transaction and includes the sale proceeds thereof. Property means any asset, whether movable or immovable, tangible or intangible, corporeal or non-corporeal, and includes any right, any interest, or any instrument or any legal document evidencing the title to or interest in that property. And if that property is capable of conversion into any other form, the property in such form also, and includes the sale proceeds thereof. Whatever is on earth is a property now. Whatever is on earth. Property, even earth is also a property. That is the land, of course. Property means any asset. Please note the word, any asset. Movable, immovable. Tangible, intangible. Corporeal, non. There is no difference between tangible, intangible and corporeal, incorporeal, same thing. Corporeal or incorporeal. And includes any right in that asset, any interest in that asset, any instrument, any legal document evidencing the title to or interest in that property. Title to or interest, even a document, agreement to sell, a document evidencing the title to or interest in that property. You can say, I don't have a property. You have a document evidencing the title to that property or interest in that property. Are you getting my point? And if that property is capable of conversion into any other form, the property in such form also, and includes the proceeds thereof. So, sir, everything, such a comprehensive definition that nothing is left to imagination. Everything is covered under property. 99% people think property means immovable property. No! All kinds of assets. Movable, immovable, tangible, intangible, corporeal, interest, right? Everything is property. Now I am coming to Benami transaction meaning. Listen to me carefully. Section 2 clause 9. Benami transactions means any transaction, any property. Benami transaction means any property which is held by a person. Which is held by a person. And the consideration of the same is provided or paid by some other person. Abhi complete huwa. And it is for the immediate future benefit, direct or indirect benefit of the person who has provided that consideration. Please don't mind if I take an example by naming your name. Please, sir. Okay. No, it is not a privilege. You will later on say, why did you know my name? Please. Suppose I buy a property in Mr. Jagdish's name. Property held by Mr. Jagdish. Consideration of the same is provided or paid by me. And it is for the immediate or future benefit, direct or indirect, of the person who has provided that consideration. Are you getting my point? So what will he be? He will be Benami Dar. And what will I be? Beneficiary. You are Benamidar. I am beneficiary. This is a Benami transaction. I am holding property in his name, but consideration is provided by me. And it is whose interest? Mine. Direct or indirect, future or immediate. So it is a Benami transaction. Clear? But does not include, there are some exceptions. Please, first time, this is clause A I am doing. There are 4 clauses, A, B, C, D. I am doing A. Says, property held in the name of Karta or the member of the HUF for the benefit of any member or all the members, provided the consideration is provided by the HUF from its known sources. Obviously, nobody holds property in the name of HUF. It is always bought in the name of Karta or in the name of member. Even if it is in the name of member or Karta, it is not Benami. It is not Benami because the consideration has been provided by HUF. So it is not Benami. Property held in the fiduciary capacity. Fiduciary capacity. In the case of a trust, the property is never held in the trace of trust, it is held in the name of trustee. Fiduciary capacity. Am I right? Fiduciary capacity. In the case of a firm, partnership firm, property is held in the name of partner. Fiduciary capacity. In the case of a company, the property may be held in the name of director. Fiduciary capacity. In the case of depository, the owner may be depository, but he is holding property for your benefit. In the case of executor, when you write a will, executor, is the executor the owner? He is holding the property for the benefit of the legatees who are going to take the benefit out of it. So my point is, fiduciary capacity is not a question of a Benami law or such other as may be defined. Clear? Clear? Liquidator also comes under that. Any other which may be defined from time to time. Clear? Wait. Next exception. Property held by the individual in the name of his spouse or any child of the individual. Spouse or any child. Please note the word. Earlier, 88 law, it was in the name of spouse or unmarried daughter. Now, it is in the name of spouse or any child. Child, minor, major, married, unmarried, natural, adopted, something should I tell you? Legitimate, illegitimate. Child is a child. The relationship of parents may be illegitimate, but child is a child. All children. Are you getting my point? Child, son, daughter. That's all. Grandchild, no. Grandchild is not covered. Child. Child, please. Son, daughter. Or spouse. Why they use the word spouse? Earlier it was used the word wife. At those days they were thinking only husband earns, wife does not earn. Now sometimes wife earns more than the husband also. So therefore they can take in the name of. And these days normally property is bought in the name of wife because of the stamp duty, less stamp duty in the case of women. So yeah, no problem, absolutely no problem. Now wait, those who are going to suffer. Mostly in them will be government officers. The government officer does not buy property in his own name unless it is genuine. Well, that is a different thing. Why? He has to report. Whenever he buys a property, he has to give information of that. He doesn't buy property in the name of spouse, he has to report. He doesn't buy property in the name of children, he has to report. Now, next exception. Property held in the name of brother or sister or lineal descendant or lineal ascendant or descendant. Wait, don't be happy. Provided you are the joint owner of that property. Provided you are also the joint owner of that property and the funds have been provided by the individual from his known source. Known source. When we were young, not married, we used to buy property in the name of mother, in the name of father, only before marriage.
Our marriage.
Before. Or nearby. After marriage, nobody buys in the name of parents. But before marriage, we have bought property. It's a Benami property. After 88, it is Benami property if you have acquired after 88. Property bought in the name of mother or father or grandfather, grandparents, grandchildren. Children covered is already covered. Unless you are also the joint owner. Joint owner, known source is the second thing. You should be a joint owner first. A government officer doesn't buy property as a joint owner. If he buys a joint owner, he is again informed. He buys property in the name of mother, in the name of father, in the name of brother, in the name of sister. All are Benami transactions. All are Benami transactions. Unless and until you are the joint owner, it is a Benami transaction. We can still take help of buying a property after 88 saying, I made a gift to my mother and mother has bought the property. They can't say also because gift is also to be informed by them. Are you getting my point? So Modi ji has not spared anybody, I am telling you. This clause D is putting lot of people in trouble. You heard Modi ji saying, people are living in Delhi, having property in Goa, and they are enjoying. Are you getting my point? There are people who have bought property in there are cases, some states where farmers can only buy the agricultural land, nobody else. But people have bought property in agricultural land, taken the papers, but not transferred in their name. It's all Benami transaction. Because I'll come to an explanation given under 229, then you will be surprised what kind of a law is made. Wait a minute. So this is clause A with 4 exceptions. Any doubt you have? Chaliye. Clause B. Benami transaction means a transaction of a property, no doubt, where the Benamidar is not in existence. Benamidar is not in existence. When you have bought a property in fictitious name, Ramlal, Shamlal, Ruby, whatever may be, Salma B, but fictitious, Salma B may not be there with you, but you have bought property in their name. They are all Benami transactions. Because name of the Benamidar is fictitious. This is Benamidar. This is clause B. Clause C. Benami transaction means a transaction where the owner of the property says, I am not aware or it is not in my knowledge that this property belongs to me. What happens? People have deposited money in the name of drivers, in the name of maid servant, in the name of employees after demonetization. The owner says, I am not aware. They might have taken a signature from me, the passbook is with him, the checkbook is with him, and everything is with him, and he is depositing in my account. I am not aware that I am the owner or I am the, it is not in my knowledge. Done it. Sometimes of your old days, if you think, when you open an account of your wife, if she signs the check, it is dishonored, and if you sign on her behalf, it is honored, you know. Am I right or wrong? This is the habit happening, you know, because signatures don't tally when she signs it. Signatures do tally when we sign on her behalf, you know. So that was the time at one particular time. So this is happening. They are keeping the all passbooks, checkbooks of the employees with them. They are keeping the account, Jandan account, so much money has been deposited. The person does not know. They may have taken. So this is clause C. Clause D. Benami transaction means a transaction where the person who has provided that money, consideration, is not traceable. Not traceable. Who gave that consideration is not traceable. What happened? If you, during demonetization, a lady constable came on the TV showing the passbook. Somebody has deposited 1 crore in my account. I don't know who has deposited it. She said that. Is she so honest that she said, we 1 crore please take away? Because she knows that whenever she will be caught, she will be told who is the person who has provided that consideration. And if she is not able to answer, so she will be held benamidar. So that's why she said, please, I don't know. I don't know whose money is this. You can take away the money. Because what is the difficulty in Benami law? You don't know. If a Benami transaction is established, the property will be confiscated by the central government without any payment, number one. No payment, it will be confiscated. Number two, rigorous imprisonment, prosecution, rigorous imprisonment, minimum 1 year and may extend to 7 years. Number three, and penalty of 25% of the fair market value of that asset. He is finished. Property gone, please take away. At least spare me. No sparing, please jail. Minimum 1 year, maximum. Who will be jailed? Wait and watch. I'll tell you later. Who can be jailed? And third is penalty. Pardon me? Wait and watch, I will rebut it. You say, the sections I will come to that. Is it rebuttable or not? We will come to that. Sir, penalty, I have just given you an idea. I have given you Benami transaction. But wait. Wait, one thing very important, an explanation which is inserted in section 2 clause 9. It is inserted from 1st of November 2016, please, not before that. It is hereby clarified that where there is a part performance of the contract under section 53 of the Transfer of Property Act, it will be treated as a Benami transaction unless all the following conditions are satisfied. We enter into an agreement, developer agreement. Do we get it registered? No. It is only possession handed over, there is a capital gain. Section 2, clause 47, subclause V, part performance of the contract under section 53A. No law change in Income Tax Act. Benami law says it will be treated Benami transaction unless following conditions are satisfied. Number one, there must be a contract, this agreement to sell. That contract must be registered. 90% contracts are not registered. 3, stamp duty must have been paid if it is applicable on that contract which is registered. 4, possession should have been handed over. And 5th, payment taken. And if all these conditions are satisfied, what is left is only registry, only registration. Now, if one of the conditions not satisfied, it is Benami. So please don't buy or sell any property on or after 1/11/2016 unless there is an agreement which must be written and which must be registered and stamp duty paid if it is applicable. Prior to that, even income tax doesn't talk about that. What is it talking about? Benami law. Because people are hold property. They are having agreement but never registered. They are having agreement to sell, never registered. Stamp duty if it is applicable.
Stamp duty for the registered value.
For the, no, agreement to sell. In our Delhi, when you get agreement to sell registered, if the total stamp duty is 6%, you have to pay 4% immediately and 2% when the final registry is done. At the time of sale. So there must be a rule here also. At the time of registration agreement, some duty charge, balance is charged at the time of registration. And it must be paid. Otherwise, 99% cases, first agreement is not there. 2, if it is there, it is not registered. 3, if it is registered, stamp duty will be taken, no doubt. Obviously it will be taken. 4, payment should be taken. All these conditions satisfied, then only it is not Benami. Otherwise it is Benami transaction. Be careful about that. Be careful, don't enter in a transaction after 1/11. Old transaction, don't bother. Even if no agreement, don't bother. Nothing will happen. But any transaction taken place on 2016, please go for an agreement, registered agreement, that's all. Clear, sir? Coming back. So section R for authorities I am not taking. Now I am talking what are the authorities constituted. Number 1 is initiating officer. What is the name given? Initiating officer. He will be of rank of Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax designated by the government. Initiating officer, Assistant Commissioner of Income. There is only one. There are 18 zones. India is divided in 18 zones. And each zone there is only one initiating officer. Maybe the whole of Tamil Nadu there may be only one initiating officer. What is his rank? Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax. Second is approving authority. Approving authority is the Joint Commissioner or the Additional Commissioner of Income Tax designated for that purpose. Only 18 have been designated. 18 Assistant Commissioner, 18 this one. This is approving authority. This lower rank will take the approval. Third is adjudication, adjudicating authority. Adjudicating authority to be constituted. But so long it is not constituted, the adjudicating authority of Prevention of Money Laundering Act will act as adjudicating authority. It is only one in Delhi. Prevention of Money Laundering Act, there is an adjudicating authority. They will look after the work of adjudicating authority under this law till it is newly constituted. Appellate Tribunal. Appellate Tribunal is also not constituted so far. The Appellate Tribunal of Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 will act as Appellate Tribunal. And the last is special courts will be constituted for this purpose, not necessary yet designated one. Only designated, the others not. Where the initiating officer has reasons to believe and information in his material in his possession that such and such person is a benamidar of the property, he may issue a notice requiring the SSC to show cause why this why this property may not be treated as a benami property. Please note, information in his possession, material in his possession, reasons to believe and material in his possession. The same language which is there in search, material, material in possession and reason. Information, reason to believe means you have to record that reason. Okay, reasons to believe. What about material in his possession? Where from that material will come in his possession? Sir, these days you have lot of information available with them. First is AIR, Annual Information Report. You all know under 285BA, the AIR is going, for which you get limited scrutiny also. Second is CTR, Cash Transaction Report. Third is STR, Suspicious Transaction Report. There is a FIU unit, Financial Intelligence Unit in Delhi, which is looking after all that information collecting. So CTR, STR, AIR, there are lot of other information which is coming to them. There are regular informer also who give the information. Informer also are there. Informer also there. We have come to know from the reliable sources that this has happened. That reliable source is only informer, nobody else. Informer. They have, all officers have informers. They are on their payroll, private payroll, not on the official payroll. Informers, you know. Then, wonderful thing, you are traveling abroad, you take the photographs and put it on the Facebook next day. And the AO writes, like. He likes more than anybody else like. Travel abroad. I have photographs, I have been to this place, this place, this place, this place. Okay. Be happy, and we are going to be more happy than that. Okay. Ladies are going for a marriage party studded with all that jewelry. And next day it is, with the dress it is on the Facebook. The officer says, I like this more. This is happening. The information we are providing with them. Every information is given to them by us. This social media, you are thinking they don't come to know. Everything is available with them. You don't know what is FIU. What kind of information. I got an information which now thought, hey, he gave me a report. That in the stock exchanges, 90% people are doing only 10% transaction. 90% people are doing only 10. There are 10% people who are doing 90% transaction on stock exchange, and 50% of that are not filing return of income. This is India, sir. This is India. 50% are not filing return. When the finance minister told one day in the budget speech, only 24 lakh people in this country, individual, are filing a return of 10 lakh or more. Only 24 lakh. And out of this is 85% are employees because they are helpless. They have to file return. Only 15% out of 24 lakh is 3,60,000 are filing a return of 10 lakh or more. 360, which includes professionals, chartered accountants, lawyers, doctors, engineers, businessmen, all are under only 360 lakh filing a return of 10 lakh or more out of 125 crore population of this country. You can imagine what mind is there of the Indians' mind. Only 360. And he said 2 crore people have traveled abroad during that year. 2 crore people have traveled abroad. Return is only 10 lakh or more. 1 crore 20 lakh passengers cars have been sold in that year. But return of 10 lakh or more is only 3,60,000 businessmen and professional and 85% the salaried employee. You can see the fate of this country. What will happen? What will happen? So this is what is happening. So the information is coming up to them. They are not able to use that information. You wait and watch. When the day the computer has come, everything is there on the computer, whatever you want to see. So please, there is no escape route now. They are not able to use that information. Once they start using the information, nobody will be spared if he's doing a wrong activity. I'm telling you, if he's doing it wrong. So this material in his possessions and reasons to believe that such and such person is a benamidar, he issues a notice. This is section 24.1. 24.2 says, if the beneficiary is also known, a copy of the notice will also be sent to beneficiary. Both will be given notice to appear and show cause why this property may not be treated as benami property. Section 24.3 says, if the initiating officer is satisfied that such and such person will alienate as an asset with an intention to avoid tax, alienate asset, he may provisionally attach that property after taking the approval of the approving authority. He can make a provisional attachment, but attachment will cease after 90 days because maximum time is 90 days. After hearing the person, benamidar, as well as the initiating officer, if he is satisfied that there is a benami transaction, after approval of authority, after taking the approval, he will, if already attached, he will continue the attachment. If not attached, he will provisionally attach that property with the order that not to deal with or part with property without the prior permission of the initiating officer, and it is up to the order passed by adjudicating authority. After that done, he will prepare a report within 15 days and refer this case to adjudicating authority. His job is over. It is only a satisfaction. He cannot say it is benami. He is satisfied and he has taken approval of the additional commissioner or joint commissioner of income tax. It is still not benami. Adjudicating authority, section 26. On receipt of a report from the initiating officer, will issue a notice to the following persons. Number 1, benamidar. Number 2, beneficiary. Number 3, any person who has interest in that property, including the bank's interest in that property. Somebody says, I have a claim. Or third says, a person who has a claim in that property. Brother may come, sister may come, father may come, it is also my property. So notice will be given to these 4 persons. Minimum 30 days time will be given to them to respond to the notice. After they have responded to the notice, they will be called in persons. examination will be done, other inquiries will be made, information will be collected from various places. Now the adjudicating authority has to take a decision. Either it is not a Benami transaction, he will pass the order, it is no more a Benami. If it is a Benami transaction, he'll pass the order, it is a Benami transaction, and this order has to be passed within 12 months from the end of the month when initiating officer has taken the action. Order has to be passed. Now order is passed. Copy will be given to, I have left one authority, administrating officer, which will be IT or TDS number 1 for taking the possession of the property. Administrator. He will be given a copy to take the possession of the movable or immovable property. If it is immovable, possession is taken in a different manner. If it is movable, everyone knows possession is taken in a different manner. You have only one right. If you want, you can file an appeal to appellant tribunal. Till that time, it will stay. It will not be there. Otherwise, you are gone. And once it is treated as a Benami transaction, number 1, the administrator will take that property. It will be confiscated without any payment. Who will confiscate it? The central government, not the state government. It will be confiscated by the central government without payment. And then chapter 7, prosecution action will be filed against you in the special court. Who will be liable for penalty? Who will be liable for prosecution? The prosecution will be minimum 1 year, maximum 7-year jail, rigorous imprisonment. And if you give a wrong information, you are giving some wrong information, or somebody is summoned and he is given a wrong statement, minimum penalty 6 months, maximum 3 years imprisonment. He also will be imprisoned. So imprisonment. To whom? Number 1, penalty to live with 25% penalty also third. Who will be imprisoned? Number 1, Benamidar. How much is the imprisonment? 1 year, maximum 7 years. Number 2, beneficiary. 1 year, maximum 7 years. Number 3, hold on, one who induces or abates that person to go for Benami transaction. And our client will say, sir, I don't know anything. He told me. So he is also gone for 1 year to 7 years. He said something. How will they prove that I have told him? Very good. Very good. He says, how will they prove that I told him? Sir, when a notice comes under 143(2) of the client, you tell him, oh, don't worry, I'm there to look after. Oh, please, carry on. And when a notice of 143(2) comes for your own case, you don't sleep for 2 days, I tell you. Am I right or wrong? Our own notice. You may be very, but we are literally afraid. When a notice comes from an adjudicating authority saying that, please appear, because he has said that it is abating or inducing, his name, your name, and notice has come from court, and if you have to go court again and again, what will happen? You can imagine that way. You may not be proved guilty, but you may have to go again and again to the court for the dates, because you are also a party made by the beneficiary or the Benamida. So please be careful. Please don't involve yourself in any transaction of your client. Don't advise. We don't know what is Nami or what is Benami. Please go away from here. When the people came to my office, sir, please help me, this demonetization. I said, nothing doing, please go away. He said, nothing, please do it. I said, no, go away. I didn't do anything. After 10 days he's come. He's very happy. I said, what happened? Sir, done. Sir, done. And what he says, sir, you want also to be done? I can do it. This is our fate. This is our fate. Client is telling me you want it to be done. So what can I do? Sir, this has happened with us. We are not involved in that. And they are saying this thing to me. Sir, it is done. I was really surprised. Why, how did you say that to me? But openly saying, sir, you what? I can help you. He can help me for doing that thing. I said, I have nothing to do. But people have done, sir. One man in Delhi, near Delhi, had made a sale of 660 crores of the gold sale while issuing a bill of less than 2 lakh each in 3 hours' time. It is only in India it can happen. Nowhere in the world it can happen. 660 crore sale of bills issued for less than 2 lakh each. Calculate. 3 hours. This only can happen in India. Yeah. What a mind they have. So they are planning. You know, how do they do? And we are blamed for that. 660 crores. But let me tell you, we are also going to have a very tough time, please. Be careful while signing the balance sheets. Don't think demonetization is over. It is just started. It is just started. It is not over. It is not over. It has failed, I know it. But he is an injured lion. Injured lion. He is not going to spare anyone. And particularly when the opposition says, it has failed, it has failed. Now look, when the scrutiny comes, what will happen of those cases, those who have deposited the money. Minister asked me when the demonetization took place. He told me, what is your opinion? How much money will not be deposited? He said, sir, you must have also estimated. He said about 2 lakh, 3 lakh crore. I said, sir, this is India. You don't waste the paper, waste paper. And this is not a waste paper. This is money. They will deposit each and every penny. They will go to jail. But they will not spare that money. And it is every penny is deposited. More than that is deposited also. But people have not realized that you have deposited it. He told me, sir, what is this? In my lifetime, I have seen first time in my lifetime when the demonetization came, people paid 30% of converting the black money into black. It is not a white money. Black into black, 30%. But we used to convert it less than 30%. 30% of converting black into black. Somebody has bought for 40,000, somebody has bought for 45,000, 50,000. Daily they are seeing the TV when this will go up. I mean the gold. It will never go up. It will remain 28,000. And people have bought for 40,000, 45,000, 60,000. So he was talking to me. He says, I know people are depositing. But how does it matter? I know the people are buying gold. But at least somebody will deposit that money. Whosoever he may be, he will be depositing their money. We will not spare him. We will not spare him. They are not coming out with anything, but let me tell you, they are not going to spare those cases, and they have already said, wait and watch what is going to happen. So please be careful about yourself. The clients are not our friends, you know. I am telling you, the client will never favor you. He will always blame you, whatever you may do. But he always says, no, a chartered accountant is exploiting. They are exploiting us. We are not exploiting them at all. I have never seen a chartered accountant reporting against any client in the department. But I am telling you, they are taking the benefit of our advice and putting us into difficulty. Be careful this time when the case is there. Be careful. Don't take a risk on yourself. We have taken enough risk for them. I am telling you, things have changed in the government. All eyes are towards us. At one place they are knowledgeable people. At the same time, the same breath he says, they are the person who has got these things done, what you call all those shell companies or all that. Maybe only few person have done it. Why should we and honest persons be victimized for the action done by some others? So I am please telling you, all of you, please take care and do not indulge yourself in any wrong thing. Time has come where we should keep our flag high and we should say we are partner in nation building. Thank you very much, sir.
May I request all the members to give a standing applause to our speaker, please.
I request CAT Ravi Madurai to present memento to the eminent speaker.
Anybody can ask him. If you have to get 20,000 rupees and more, you have to maintain, the political parties maintain the name and address of the person who has given 20,000. Less than 20,000, there was absolutely no problem. 13A they have changed, saying that if you receive an amount of 20,000 other than in the form of electoral bond, you have to maintain a record. Other than in the form of electoral bond, you have to. Electoral bond, I tell you. Second, they made a change that if it is more than 2,000 rupees, you have to check it by account pay check or account pay draft. You can receive only up to 2,000 in cash. People say, what will happen? They will issue receipts of only 2,000 each. But when you issue a receipt of 2,000, at least it is a white money coming to the circulation. No? They have to give account to the election commission. Wait a minute. Now what happened? Elections are bound to be there in India. And there is no state funding in the case of election. Obviously they need money. Who will give them the money? The public. You have to accept the money from public. Earlier what was happening, that if an industrialist gives the money to a particular party, obviously the ruling party will get more donations and the opposition will definitely get less donation. This is very obvious. There is nothing about it. But suppose I want to give donation to a particular party, Mukesh Ambani wants to give donation to BJP, they will come to know that Mukesh Ambani has given about 100 crore or 200 crore or 300 crore and he will claim deduction and 300 crores. The difficulty was, he comes in the eyes of the law. I mean that this man has supported Modi ji and Modi ji must have given some favor to him. Even Congress time it used to happen. So the person doesn't want to give the money in check because he is victimized later on because you gave to this one and you gave 10 crore to us and 200 crore to them. This is something very bad. Why should you? So they didn't want to give the money in white. They used to give money number 2 to the parties to avoid that confrontation which may happen because they are doing business. They can't help it. Now, what a new law. You go to Reserve Bank of India, authorized also State Bank of India, and buy bonds. You can buy bond by paying only account pay check or draft. Buy bonds. Correct? These are bearer bonds. These are bearer bonds. Give this bond to any party. Since it is a bearer bond and they will have to encash those bonds within 15 days time, whatever party gets it, the name of the donor will not be there. Name of the donor will not be there. Since the name of the donor is not there, the party will give the white money and they will claim deduction because the limit of 5% is also removed from company case. So Mukesh Ambani giving 500 crore to the BJP, claim deduction of 500 crore, he gets the exemption of 30% and then BJP doesn't have to give the name of the Mukesh Ambani, meaning thereby now white money will come to the election fund. White, not the black. Earlier black money was coming which was converted into white for now there is election commission where you have to give the whole account for election fund and you cannot spend more than a particular limit, you know that, for per candidate. So the question is, now the political party will get money, but they will get money in the form of bearer bond which is a white money, which is white money. They will be spent. Also, an accounting will have to be done for that. You will have to do the accounting. So, the purpose is to convert that black, instead of giving black, they now want to give white money to them. This is the first purpose. Second purpose. Political parties were not filing return of income. Although they were giving report to the election fund, but they were not filing the return of income. Their section is 139(4)(b). And if they don't file a return of income, what is the maximum poor man officer can do? Fine of rupees 5,000, which was there under 271F. 5,000 rupees fine, nothing else. And even if he doesn't file, they can't do any action. Even if they have a courage to ask him to file a return of income, they still don't file. What can you do? The only penalty you can impose, nothing can happen. Now, the law is changed. That all political parties shall have to file return of income on or before the due date mentioned under 139. Now, they will not get an exemption if they don't file return. So, sir, some improvement is taking place there also. Now, all political parties will have to file return of income before the due date. So, you wait and watch. Things are going to improve, and wait. After a few days, the law is going to come. No political party receive anonymous donation more than 5% of the total donation, or rupees 1 lakh, whichever is more. How much anonymous donation? Only maximum. So 95% will be white. Wait and watch. Things are improving on that side also.
Previously or some years back, they accumulated a lot of money in black side as well as Brahmin.
Sorry, accumulated.
Whether they
You are again wrong. Accumulated not in the party fund, in their personal fund. Party fund, so they have to account for. They have to go under the Representation of People Act. They have to give report. They may not be giving income tax return, but they are filing report under Representative People Act. So they were collecting the money, not depositing in the party fund, depositing in their own pocket. Now should I name? Now you know the names also. Why should I say? They are not in the party fund. If it is in the party fund, nobody bothers. It is not in the party fund, it is in their personal fund. That's why the things are happening. That's why the Benami law is also there. So wait and watch it. Now this is some question which is there, I don't know what it is. Company carrying on an engineering business in Tamil Nadu started a new manufacturing unit in the state of Maharashtra. The state has got a scheme to promote new industry setup in Maharashtra. As per the scheme, the total cost of the project incurred by the company will be subsidized fully to the extent of investment over a period of 7 years by refunding the VAT GST paid by the company. As per the relevant ICDS, all subsidies should be routed through profit and loss account. Now the question of treatment of subsidies, whether the subsidy is liable to income tax as revenue received, certainly. Because section 2 clause 24 has included explanation number 18 that all subsidy grants will be taxable as income. If it is a capital subsidy, you can reduce from the cost. But otherwise, all subsidies will be now treated as income. Done. ICDS says this thing. ICDS also says this thing, and that's why the income tax amendment has been brought in section 2 clause 24, definition of income. And that's why that grant, or what is the ICDS number 5 or 6, whatever is the number. Anji? Government grant, but I was asking ICDS number, not government one. 5 or 6 or something. 5. Although I don't do ICDS, I don't sign any balance sheet because I am really afraid of Modi ji. I told you. I am not signing any balance sheet, I am advising, sir. Whether it will go to reduce, I have answered this question. Answered this question. Any other, sir?
Chandrasekhar, mic verma. Sir, konjam apdi. Sir, one by one, sir. One by one. One by one.
Hanji.
Sir, that you have not answered my question that, see, in the you are talked about the definition of the term Benami transaction, etc. So I asked the question that whether it could be rebuttable it is.
Rebuttal is you have to establish that it is not.
No,
when you are asked for you are summoned and you are told, please explain why it should not be treated as a Benami transaction.
No, why I had this particular question is, see, under if you look at that judgment of the Jailala's disproportionate wealth case, where which says that when there is an unexplained income is there, it is. Then they say that it's a deeming fiction, where which irrespective of the fact that it will be deemed as ill-gotten money, and that's how the judgment proceeded. It is.
Was Benami law applicable at that time?
No, that is, they say that they made a distinction between the amendment prior to that goes to that.
Another point. I'll tell your answer also. You know, when this demonetization came, we were invited to discuss because the officers told the government misinformation to the Modi ji that there is a demonetization. If anybody undisclosed income is found, there will be a penalty of 200%. they said to, and Modi ji said that, will impose a penalty of 200%. We went to them, how can you impose a penalty of 200%? Under which law? This is under section 270A, new section which has come. I said, wait and watch. Section 271A says, where there is a under-reporting of an income, then only there is a penalty. Under-reporting of an income. When I am showing income, where there is under-reporting of income. So you cannot impose a penalty of 200%, not even 1%, because I am showing my income. You cannot impose a penalty. He says, then what happens? We will apply section 68. Now, what is 68? He says, 68 section, unexplained credit. I said, wait sir, read section. Where any amount, sum is found credited in the books of accounts of the SSC, and the SSC does not offer any explanation of the nature and source of that money, or offers an explanation which the opinion of the AO is not satisfactory, then it will be treated as deemed to be income of the person who has, in whose books it is found credited. I said, well, please, it is the prerogative of AO. How can you say that it is undisclosed? It is the AO which has to say that it is undisclosed income. He finds it. But I am not showing. I am just showing more income. How can he say it is undisclosed? It is found in the books of account. It is the deemed income. I am showing the deemed income. I am showing the deemed income. Where is the difficulty? I will apply 69. What is 69? Unexplained investment. What is unexplained investment? They are also the AO's prerogative. I will apply this. I said, it's all wrong. Then the person who has made the law said, no, it is there. I said, read. After half an hour they say, he is right. We cannot impose any penalty. He says, suggest to me what should be done. I don't want to make suggestion because the recording doesn't matter. But I'll tell you something else. They have changed section 115 BBE. You know what is the language of such section? It says, where the total income includes any income referred to in section 68, 69, 69A, 69B, 69C, 69D, and it is reflected by the SSC in his return of income. Wow. I am showing still there is a tax of 60% on that income. I am showing that income, still there is a tax of 60% if I am not able to establish that source. Plus surcharge of 25% coming to 75% plus 3%. Education says 77.25% if you are not able to establish the source of that income which you have reflected in your return. 77.25%. And if you do not show it, the AO detects that thing, then there is a penalty of 10% or 60%, 6%. So either pay 77.25 by showing the income or pay 83.25 by not showing the income. And if there is a search conducted, 107.25%, because 77.25% the tax, 30% is the penalty, provided you surrender that at the time of search. And if you do not surrender that at the time of search, then 137.25%. Are you understanding? 137.25. Forget about deemed. He will tax that income at 137.25%. And I told them, this was done for demonetization. Please now next year, at least change it. He says then people will show the income next year. So we will wait for some time and we are not going to change section 115 BBE. Such a section now. I am showing my income. Still I have to pay tax at the rate of 77.25% unless I am able to establish my source. I write income from other sources, 77.25%. And if you write income from other sources, GST people will come say, where is the GST on this amount? Because this is the service rendered or sale of goods. Wait and watch, sir, what is going to happen. I didn't say that. Things are not rosy for the clients.
Money laundering is also affected.
Why?
Money laundering. Okay, other sources, no sources.
Money laundering. Money laundering.
Money laundering is a difficult proposition because that is only from illegal way. No, money laundering is not that. That is some criminal activity or some other activity. It cannot come under money laundering. Sir, please, I have to answer. It is not coming under the million. Gift receipt from, they are doing under money laundering, but money laundering people themselves says it doesn't come under our jurisdiction because it is not a money by corruption or it is not a money by criminal activity. It is a normal money which doesn't come under criminal activity. Gift receipt from friends and relatives on occasion of marriage in cash exceeding 2 lakh. What will happen to that? Anybody gives you cash 2 lakh more? But don't take gift of 2 lakh. Tell him to give him, if at all you have to give a cash. Actually, he doesn't give you 2 lakh. He gives you 5,000, you make it 51,000. He gives you 21,000, you make it 2 lakh 10,000. If it has, we make out a list, we just add 1 0. 1,100, 11,000, 2,100. Don't worry, they all know it. Don't worry that I am saying anything in front of them. They all know it. But they have to establish that. That is a different issue. Sir, you cannot receive a gift of more than 2 lakh on occasion of marriage. You can receive up to 2 lakh, no question. Do it, deposit. And when a gift is from relative, again, I told you, you can't take a gift of more than 2 lakh in cash in one day. Take it next day. Take it next day. And why take a gift of 2 lakh, man? Take it 2 lakh in the name of the bride, right? 2 lakh in the name of bridegroom. Ho gaya 4 lakh. What is the need? There are ways and means. The one who wants to give 2 lakh cash, he is not giving white money then. But you are converting into white. If it is white, he will give you check. Why this is number 2 money being converted into white. And please, when your number 2 is converted in mind, the mind applied is more than anybody else. You more apply mind. So please be careful, it is not going to happen now. Mr. X lent money to Mr. Y. Mr. Y purchased property from that money. Mr. X don't charge interest on that money. Will the above transaction will be considered Benami transaction? We will see the relationship between X and Y. If it is intention is genuine, absolutely no problem. If I give loan to my son, where is the problem? If I give loan to my relative, where is the problem? But I loan give to my friend, and then I am taking some benefit from him, maybe cross transaction, maybe anything. Then they have to establish that it is Benami. Taking a loan without interest is not Benami because there is a consideration for refunding that money. Loan, there is always a consideration that you have to refund back the money. Oh, that is a different thing. Payable when able. Payable when able, that is the one. But there is no restriction. But intention shall be given, seen in that case, whether it is a transaction which is Benami but converted into this manner, or is it a genuine transaction? That is, you have to establish it is a genuine transaction. Nobody stops you for giving your money without interest. Absolutely no problem with that. Okay, sir? Any other? Chali, sir. Thank you very much. No, sir.
Section 50C, can you give any judgments or any
No, what 50C you want? Apparent consideration, they have already told you stamp duty value. You cannot have it. You have only one alternative. 50C2, refer the case to the valuation officer. And whatever he determines, that is the only way. No other case. They are not going to listen to that. Only valuation officer. Thank you very much for the patience.
We break for lunch. We request members to reassemble at 2:45, and there will be a draw of lots. So those who are named